The views and opinions expressed on the Craig L. Hayes Show do not necessarily reflect those of Westgate Resorts ownership or management. And now, on with the show.
This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.
All right, we're back with Nathan Miller today, and we're doing another series of interviews. I got the date wrong. It's the 21st of November, 2024. And we're going to continue on talking about the shows that have happened in this room and Nathan's life in show business, doing movies, doing all kinds of stuff. So, Nathan, we're going to continue a little bit about this room. You did a lot of TV shows. You did a lot of all kinds of shows here. Let's just talk a little bit about the shows that you've done and some of the stories. And I know you have a story about Bill Cosby that's, that shows you the life of a stagehand sometimes backstage.
Yeah, I'll tell that story. It's a good story.
Yeah.
Bill was a great. He used to let me bring my kids to the show, take pictures with him. Bill was great. No, he had a dressing room downstairs, and I used to work his show every night. He'd let all the rest of the stage crew go home. I did the microphone, set out the chair, closed the main curtain, worked both shows. He was amazing. In a room over 2,000 people, he never swore or told anything dirty or unoffensive, and just bring people to tears laughing so hard. He was an amazing comedian. But anyway, there was 3 keys. The star always got a key to the dressing room downstairs, and the stage manager, Loopy, always had a key, and then security. I was a drunk and a kind of a crazy person. And I always knew that there was a drink downstairs in the dressing room, and so I'd borrow Loopy's key and always come down, have a little libation, and smoke some marijuana. And it's all legal now in Nevada, thank you. But one day around noon, I went down for my usual toddy in the afternoon and heard the tumbler and the key, and it was Bill. Blum, blum. Oh, sorry. Bill come in and he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just having a drink and relaxing for a minute." He looks around. He always had his room all taken. He'd hang his own pictures, his own music, and everything, his own clothes and all, of course. And he got whatever he needed out of the dressing room, and he looks around and goes, "Well, you didn't steal anything." I said, "I'm not a thief. I'm just a drunk." And he said, "Lock up when you leave, Nathan." He could have had me fired and
Oh yeah.
fried, died, and laid to the side.
Oh yeah. That was a
But he was
good one there.
He was great. He used to let me bring my kids. When his TV show was so hot, and he was he was good to me. All the other stories about him I will not go into, but he was good to me and my family and the kids. I got pictures of him chasing my oldest daughter, and she looks at it today, and she's 40 years old and goes, "Wow." So that's good memories. Right up here backstage at the Las Vegas Hilton.
Yep. Yeah. If these walls could talk down here, they could just tell the stories, just the simple stories. Like so many rooms in this town in the 70s and stuff in the 80s, these rooms were busy day and night.
Mm-hmm.
People know about the shows we would do at nighttime. They'd see, Elvis on the marquee. They'd see Anne Margaret. They'd see whoever.
Mm-hmm.
But during the daytime,
Right.
the room would change over completely, and we'd sometimes do TV shows during the daytime, then have to switch it back to doing shows at night, then back to the daytime shows.
Many a time. We
So
did Mike Douglas here. many a
Mike
time.
Douglas, yeah, we grew up on Mike Douglas, watching him.
Yeah, we did that many a times here, many weeks, along with specials, and we did a Liberace special here. But the Mike Douglas show we did when Burt Reynolds did his Cosmo layout that blew everybody up. His first live appearance was here at the Mike Douglas show in this room, and I will never forget the noise when he first came out. It was great.
Were the ladies a little excited to see him?
They were like screaming. You think, well, it was the same noise as like when Elvis was here. I like that loud sound that this room can get when you have over 2,000 people just wailing. That's the way it sounded, yeah. But Mike Douglas, we had everybody here on his show, of course, and then we did a Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin special here for somebody. Paul Anka, we had Michael Jackson on stage here one time. Backstage was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Yeah, television shows and productions, daytime commercials. Did 3 major commercials here on the stage. We did a daytime Emmy show here with when Marie was growing up once. I think she hosted it, Marie Osmond. And it was interesting. I brought in this picture of her and Donnie when they were 17 and 18 years old, and she just blew up when she saw it. She couldn't believe it. Yeah, she was the host for a daytime Emmy TV show we did here.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when we did that.
I think it was 70. I just got out of the hospital. I had a liver transplant in 2010. That was my first job back after the
So that's
operation.
yeah, that sounds
It was
about
like
right.
2000.
Yeah, that sounds about right. We did it 2 years in a row, and then we
remember?
didn't ever do it again. Oh yeah,
Daytime Emmys.
I was here. I was here for 30 years of all this stuff.
Ooh,
you know?
you remember? Yeah, but that's a good memory of this stage. It was very versatile.
Yes. Yeah, a lot of times during the rodeo week, we would do what they called primetime country, which was on the Nashville network, and we'd set that up starting like at 8, 9 in the morning. And then they'd film the show. They'd do all the stuff they had to do. Then we'd load in a show, whether it was Brooks and Dunn or Reba or whoever, and then turn it back around. I mean, we didn't leave here for, 10 days straight, Cal? Yeah, I mean, you you walk out of here a zombie because you're here 16, 18, 19 hours a day, basically. You never could get out of here. But that's showbiz. You know, if you don't like doing it, if it doesn't appeal to you, go work 9 to 5 in a bank or something, I guess.
No, I love this room. I couldn't wait to get here. But sometimes we'd never leave. There was one time, remember the snow? What year was it?
Yeah, 75, right?
The snow. We were snowed in here. We were doing, was it Mike Douglas during the day? We were snowed in. We stayed down here in these rooms downstairs for 4 days for the snow and to do the night shows. We did the TV show during the day and then turned the room and did the night shows, but we couldn't go home because when the snow hit this town, they didn't have removal, remember?
Yeah.
So you were kind of trapped.
Just had to wait till it melted for a couple days.
So
yeah.
we stayed down in these rooms for a couple days, all
Yeah.
the stagehands. I'll never forget that. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah,
It
I've
was a
stayed,
party down here every night.
I've stayed in this room a couple of times. You know, had housekeeping bring down a bunch of
Sure.
roller beds, and we all just lined them up in this room, and
That's all you can do.
This is where we were. We
The
crashed
show must
night.
go on.
Yeah, and that was because we were doing what was it, Consumer Electronics Show, and it was the last when they're doing the shows, and then the setup for the next day. You were here nonstop. You never left here.
This was a big room for consumer electronics.
Yeah.
Big.
So that's yeah. We literally have 3, 4 cots down here, and everyone just come down here and grab a 4-hour nap basically, and head back up. And
You got to do it.
yeah,
You got to do it.
it is the biz.
Yes, I love the business. I'm so glad I got into it. I'm so glad I left Atlanta and came to Vegas and tried. And
No.
to get into the union, then it was tough. And once I got to the Las Vegas Hilton, I'll never forget Loopy signing the slip that brought me to this stage, and I knew I could do it. I knew I could do it. And Jim Fox, the sound man, saying, "You think you can handle a show?" And Margaret. And I did it. First night and then the second night she comes up, it was the third night actually, and saw me bop it on stage left, hold her mic ready for her to go on. And she gave me that compliment. I said, "Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, so cool."
What other shows? What other shows here? We'll talk about this place a little bit more, and then we'll start moving on to some other things you've done.
We did the Everly Brothers here.
Everly Brothers. There's one.
How about that? They only came up in the elevator separately. They had problems, but on stage they were magic.
Yeah.
They were the ones that influenced the Beatles, of course. But Everly Brothers, we did Engelbert here. I did, as far as comedians, Shecky Green was wild.
Shecky, huh? Wow.
Shecky, I remember coming in when I was subbing for the sound man, and I was only working deck sound, but on the head sound man's night off, I'd go out and mix. And I came in after just handing him the mic backstage, and they said, "Go to Shecky's room. He wants to see you immediately." And I guess he'd had a problem with the head sound man the night before. I'm going, whoa. So I went down, I think it was in this room, and Shecky, I want to talk to you. Oh, okay. We're not going to have a problem with the sound tonight, are we? I go, no, sir. Not a problem with me. And, you know, Shecky was wild. What a great guy. Funny.
One of the funniest guys out there. I mean, just.
And we did, who else here that was so funny? Gosh, I can't think of.
Were you here when Eddie Murphy was so big and he did his show here, or had you gone already?
When he did Raw over in the convention area, he did his backstage party here in this room. This is I can make this PG.
Well, PG-13.
I came to the party, of course, because I went over to see the show. You had to go see Raw. The place was jamming. The party was down here in the room. I got a little crazy that night, and two of his bodyguards didn't want me at the party, but Eddie come up and grabbed me and be cool, man. And it was a great night. He was such a nice man. But that show, Raw, was great. Eddie Murphy, come on. If you can't laugh at him, his antics.
Yeah, that was like 84, something right around the 84 when he had just exploded out there on everywhere, you know.
Yeah, it was great. It was great. Henny Youngman, believe him, I worked him on this stage.
That would have been cool.
Henny.
Take my wife, please.
And I worked, who else? The bug-eyed guy.
With Marty Feldman?
Not Marty Feldman, but bingo, Rodney Dangerfield.
Oh, Rodney. Oh, Rodney.
Wow. Talk about funny. Yes.
And he could pop those off, you know, those.
Bam,
you know,
bam,
bam, you know, just, and you didn't have a chance to even laugh at the last one. He's already given you another one. It's a bing, you know, so, he was a funny guy.
Yeah, we had him here. He was crazy. Who else we have here? Engelbert was something. I worked Engelbert at the Riviera once when he always loved Elvis, and they had to chase him out. He was racing to the Hilton to meet Elvis, and we had to pull him back in. Engelbert was wild. He was a great guy, too. We worked him on this stage. He brought him in. He was like Elvis, not as strong, but just fantastic. The music was on fire. The band was cooking.
Yeah, we worked him here a few times over the years, and he always did really well. I mean, and you know, these guys are seasoned pros. You know, they're just so good performing.
Paul Anka was amazing. And
He
everybody
is.
said, well, he's kind of hard to work with. But
He's a perfectionist.
But he got perfection.
Yeah.
And I was proud to be a sound man to work for him. And it was great.
Yeah, because he could sit there and you know, he'd be working with the band and the orchestra or something like that, and somebody would hit a bad note in this sea of 30, 40 musicians, and he'd look right at him and go, "I heard that." I mean, just off. I mean, he had such a good ear. I mean, that's so when he's that good,
Right.
you got to step your game up and be that good too.
Yes. Yeah. Paul was wonderful. Yeah. I admired perfection. I admired people that wanted to make the show just the best.
Yep, we agree. You know, it's, you know, we're in the most magical industry there is. We get paid to make people happy. You know,
Sure.
what better job can you have?
Sure.
You know, any other shows stick out in your mind here at the what used to be the Las Vegas Hilton, now the Westgate Resort?
Tony Orlando was fun here. He used to bring him in. Tony was when he did Barnum, we did the actual parts of Barnum on stage here. Another stagehand and I dressed up like clowns and became part of the act. And Tony was just a great guy, just so much fun.
Stagehands being clown, not much of a stretch.
It worked
Yeah.
out well for
Not hard.
Randy and I. And he paid us extra. It was great.
And I used to run sound for him. I used to run a house sound on Tony Orlando, and it was him and Jerry Lewis. What a great show. What a great show those guys were. And Jerry Lewis, what a pro. I mean,
I did all the
sometimes
telethons.
sometimes difficult to work with.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you what, a perfectionist. And I would watch his show from the front every night and just be amazed on his timing, his delivery. Wow.
Sinatra was like that. A lot of people say he was mean, but I got a real Frank Sinatra autograph, and I was doing a grip job when in the dressing room when they got the phone call of his mother's plane missing. I will never forget that moment. But that was over at Caesar's Palace. But we're here to talk about the Hilton.
Yeah, we can talk about that too when we get there.
Sure.
We'll just
But the Hilton stage.
We'll work our way around town.
The Hilton stage, like the Gladys Knights and all the acts we did here. We had who else? Stevie Wonder in here once. And
Stevie Wonder played here?
wait a minute, let me see. Was it Stevie Wonder?
I wouldn't doubt it, but I wasn't here when
the
he played.
special. Maybe not Stevie.
Was he like a guest spot on it or something on some
think
show?
so.
Yeah, that would have been so cool having Stevie Wonder here in this room too.
Don't remember it. I did so many shows around the room, but the one around town, I'm 75, and I'm getting a gold card at the Union coming up for how many years of service?
That's like 50 years, guy.
I came in at 77 and got my first card, and love every minute of it.
Yeah.
Love every minute of it. Still do.
So okay, well, we can move on to other venues here if you can't think of any other places here that
I want to think
stick out
about
in your
this
mind.
stage because some of the good stuff. We did Doug Henning here in the old. I did Stephen Eady on this stage once. I'll tell you a good story. Doug Henning had a tiger in the act, and doing the tiger in the act, he was the opening act for Stephen Eady on this stage. The tiger. I don't want to reveal the secret of the act, but to get the tiger downstage for the audience, we had to bring him down an opening. I'll say that. Mm-hmm. The tiger got disoriented and turned around and came back upstage. The tiger came out and just there were 8 stagehands standing there. We all jumped on the tiger to hold him, and Doug was there, and the trainer was there. Edie come up on the elevator, which is here, and Judy was with her lady, and I screamed at Edie, "Go back down," because she's like, "Whoa, what's going on?" And she could see us wrestling with the tiger. So Judy punched the elevator, and Edie went back down to the dressing room. We eventually got the tiger down, and the show continued. And Edie finally came back up and went on and killed it. So after the show, she brought me down to the dressing room, gave me a $100 bill, and said, "Drink what you want, Nathan. You saved my life." I go, we were just fighting the tiger.
Yeah.
But Edie Gourmet, God bless her soul, she was wonderful. A lot of people said that she was hard to work with. She was so kind, and what a voice. And that's one of the stories. Steve and Edie were very nice. I think Steve's still around somewhere, but Edie has passed, but God bless her soul.
And we can talk about a little bit about that, about the tiger. People don't realize that 8 guys on a tiger is probably not enough.
Not enough.
Those things are so powerful.
He was beating us.
Yeah. And yeah, they are so
If the trainer
strong.
had to been there, it would have been chopped meat.
Yeah. Because everyone grabs a paw, everyone's grabbing, holding on for dear life on everything, and 2 people on top of it, and someone's trying to hold you, and you're barely going to keep up with that thing. It's trying to get away and go after you. They are just, ugh. Yeah, the big cats, lots of respect to them because they are so powerful. beautiful, wonderful to work
Oh,
around.
yeah.
But man, I'm telling you, kind of
Every show during that run worked perfect, but that one night, that tiger was not going to go.
Yeah, yeah. Sometimes they just don't want to do it.
But it was, I'll never forget Edie's, "Oh, what's going on?" I said, "Go back down, Judy. Take her back down." It all worked.
Yeah.
God bless her.
No one got hurt.
Yes.
No one got chomped on.
What else can we talk about? Let's talk about.
I mean, how do you explain that on a, what do you call it?
I believe Doug Henning's passed too. He was such a nice man. He rented one of Liberace's houses, and we used to go over there and have parties. And he'd always invite me over, and I was in love with one of his magical assistants. But the mother of my children was a magical assistant for David Copperfield. Copperfield used to work on this stage. I did the disappearing Ferrari illusion with him. I drove the Ferrari on stage with him. In fact, I brought the picture that he signed when I did the Ferrari act with him. I drove the car on stage with him on the back, 8 and midnight for about 3 weeks when he ran a show, 2 weeks. I'll never forget it. And he picked me out. I don't know why. I drove a 308 GTS Ferrari on stage every night with him on the back and hit my marks every night. I don't know how I did it. Off stage, and we did the disappearing Ferrari illusion. David always says, I said, "Are we going to do the Ferrari trick?" "It's not a trick, Nathan. It's an illusion."
Yeah.
And he was right. And so after the show closed, he wrote on my picture, and I'll show it to you, "Thanks for smiling in the car." I said, "David, I didn't know that." He said, "You were perfect. You came right down. When the car hits downstage, you're, hey." He said, and he wrote on my picture, "Thanks for smiling in the car." And he came to my, we had a pre-engagement party. My ex-wife was a magical assistant for him, the mother of my children. He came to our wedding party. He rode with stagehands. This is a true story. He said, "I want to ride with stagehands. I love stagehands." David Copperfield, 70, 78, 70s. So he hops in the car with 4 or 5 stagehands. We got to where the party was for our engagement. He had his feet on the dash. "I will never ride with stagehands again." David he's still a great guy. I ran into him at Country Music Awards twice, and God bless him. He's still working at MGM now. He deserves all the whatever.
Yeah, he's been there a long time, man.
And he's such a great guy. But David, and I remember when we struck the show that night, he said, "Put the car over in the corner. They'll pick it up in the morning." I said, "Not yet, David." I blew across the convention center parking lot in a 308 GTS Ferrari. I thought, yes. He thought I was going to drive to the airport or something. I came back in. "Nathan, what did you do?" I said, "Drive the Ferrari."
Took it for a spin. What else would you do with it? You know?
But David was so much fun. Yeah, he was here. David Copperfield. Wow.
Yeah, before I was here. So when I worked him at Caesars several times, but
He's truly successful and deserves every minute of it. Yeah. But we did that, and we did, who else? Exciting. We did a lot of people. We did, the one person I used to really enjoy was, well, of course, Liberace, because when he'd bring specialty acts, he'd always have 2 specialty acts, and they'd always be different. And when he'd bring the Rockettes, and you got 20 stagehands backstage, and you're hearing the Rockettes are coming. There was always parties. I'll tell you a funny Liberace story. He always wanted to have parties for the cast, and he always did. We had the Chinese Circus of Taiwan, we had some other acts, but what stands out is the Rockettes. And he said one night, he goes, "Nathan, I think I want to have a party for the Rockettes. And I go, sure, let's do it. Because I'd bartend at the house part-time. And so we had an Sunday afternoon party at the house over on Shirley Street, which is still there. Great party, afternoon party with the Rockettes. And he invited the stagehands, and we thought we'd hit the jackpot, you know. So the first show that night, we're back and everybody's happy. The Rockettes are doing the kick at the end, you know, how many girls lined up. And Lee's off stage with me holding the mic. He always had a cigarette. I always had to hold the ashtray for him. He always had a cigarette. And I'd hold the mic and hold the ashtray for him. And he'd watch the show from his dressing room. He had the private dressing room stage right. I don't know if it's still up there or not.
Yeah, there's a quick change private room there.
Right.
So,
He paid for that, and it was built by, I believe, Don Filippo, the prop man here, if I'm not mistaken. But he would stand there in front of his dressing room, beautiful room, air conditioned, all the little chandeliers, and inside blue carpet. The Rockettes did the kick that night, and the girl in the end, as soon as they did the kick, she went down. God bless her. Bam! And Lee looks over at me and he goes, I guess we better stop those afternoon parties, huh, Nathan?
everyone goes a little bit tipsy for that show, huh?
He was such a funny guy. Nathan, we better stop those afternoon parties.
Awesome. Well, that's the come to the end of the second episode, and we're going to come back with more with Nathin Miller in just a few minutes. And until then, Talbot, take it away.
This is the Craig L. Hayes Show.
Here's Copperfield.
Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah. Thanks for the smile. There you go.
Quite the life.
It,
So